bringing you key insights, tips, and advice from the brightest minds in the Canadian franchise industry. This is the Franchise Canada Chats podcast. I'm Kirk from Reshift Media, your host for season 6.5 of the Franchise Canada Chat podcast, where we take you into the world of franchising. Our interviews are with franchisees, franchisors, and industry leaders who give on-the-pulse expert advice and share their franchising insights and experiences. Hi everyone, Kirk Allen from Reshift Media. Very special guest with Erwin from TikTok, the fastest growing social media platform in the world. I'm from Reshift Media. We're a digital marketing firm. We use TikTok for our advertisers, and we do three things at Reshift Media. We do websites, we do social media, and we do search, so SEO and SEM for all sorts of brands in Canada and the US. But it's not about us, it's about TikTok today and Erwin. So we have some questions here. It's a very new platform, obviously, to so many people in the audience and listening to this. So why do you think TikTok has taken off so well?
Yeah, I mean, think back to when the global pandemic started. There was, just this gap in terms of people locked up in their homes. There was, this popular app, trending amongst young Gen Z, sort of that segment. And that opportunity where people were discovering new things. And in that discovery during that pandemic phase that people locked down, that ability to catch fire and have TikTok be in that right place at the right time, where entertainment met communities, met creators, and everybody sort of had that perfect harmony together. So, through accident of, what has happened in sort of this life-changing world, our ability to connect to media in a new way, which TikTok became, was that crux of how it got started. But that ability to learn how community engaged with people on this platform was very different than what you saw in social media, and the way people engage with brands, people lean in with creators, and how communities are built, or sub-communities are built together.
Awesome. And it's interesting you talk about the pandemic and the growth of TikTok. Most social media grew, I think all social media grew over that period, but I remember seeing a stat, we used it in a presentation a little while ago, but TikTok was like 2-3 times the growth of anyone else, or maybe more, but it continues to grow at a really rapid rate.
Yeah, it's unremarkable to see how much time spent in terms of when you index it compared to other platforms. People are just spending much more time, and it just shows in terms of the content that people are developing and the way people are consuming that content. When you're on other social media platforms, you're checking your status, you are checking, the response rate. You're just looking into what you've done on those platforms. On TikTok, you're leaning in, you're learning, you're educating, you're being insightful to understand new things. There's so many trends that came out that people created, habits, cleaning, cooking, taking travel destination to a new level. It just, people were just immersed in a new way that was far different from what social media had to offer.
Yeah, well, I follow golf tips on TikTok, and learning the chip and the drive, how to get rid of the slice, and I just get fed all that material all day long. And skiing's the other one. So you're right, I go there and I get entertained. It's amazing. So what do businesses and business owners need to know about TikTok and how to engage with TikTok?
We've learned a lot from some of the biggest brands who got their start on TikTok in terms of seeing success and being early adopters. And people are learning from that and taking their own spin. And I think when you break that down into the way franchises can adopt that same model, it's working with their corporate brands and then localizing that approach in a way that builds community. We're always about culture and community at TikTok, and working with franchisees and having that franchise model channel up to sort of the corporate brand message, taking that top of mind awareness and bringing it back to your community is the most essential way that businesses can strive and see success on our platform.
Well, that localization, Erwin, I think is so critical for this audience. And of course, you've got the corporate message and the national budget, but at the local level, there's always some local budget, and people can do a really good job on social media. So I'm really happy to hear you talk about that localization, because I think that's one that people are still trying to figure out. How does TikTok fit for me as a franchise system? So I think that's really a key message. So where are you guys going? What's the future for TikTok? What do you have planned over the next little while?
The platform's growing, globally. We're still trying to grow our user base, trying to grow our community, trying to grow in the way we operate in terms of working with creators. Creators being the lifeblood of understanding how trends are moving forward. I think you have to be agile for a company like us to move forward and grow, but time will tell. I mean, what we've learned over the last 24 months of this pandemic has changed the way we've shifted media in terms of consumption, the way people gather information and communicate and be a marketer. So, I mean, there's no real one answer in terms of how the company's going to move forward. I can't speak on behalf. But what I can do is watch and learn and be part of that in terms of being agile and helping the company grow and helping our clients that we work with and the community grow together with us.
That's awesome. So what are the numbers like worldwide? How many TikTok accounts and how many in Canada, or ballpark?
I mean, globally it's in the billions. I mean, I couldn't pinpoint the exact amount. There's just so much user data that is out there, and it's our job to make sure from a local perspective, we're working with our local partners to understand the metrics that matter the most. And those things happen, when we have closed door meetings, we're able to share a bit more insights and stuff. But from sort of a public standpoint, we just don't have the ability to share that information at this time.
Okay. And then the categories you're responsible for at TikTok, you talk a little bit about those?
Yeah, I mean, so I am the industry lead for grocery retail, dining QSR, as well as pharmaceutical healthcare. And I work with a lot of clients on the executive level in terms of working with the marketers, their brand managers, as well as their agencies on the media side and creative agencies to help build that narrative that fits their brand and their category.
That's awesome. That's awesome. One bonus question for you.
Yeah.
So, looked you up on TikTok today. I've got a little TikTok handle, not a lot of followers. And one wants to follow me, you can. But you're Chef Biggie. That's your handle. Tell us about that and your passion for I guess, cooking, and who you follow as chefs.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because outside of my marketing world and living in this life of TikTok, I'm a big foodie. And my passion reigns into the ability to test how I can, create new dishes and work with my family as well as my community. Community is just a big part of my sort of lifestyle. But about 10 years ago, me and my wife started a catering company, testing sort of the ground in terms of how we can bring Hawaiian food, which was our catering company at that time, to sort of a localized approach in Toronto. And it just became sort of this thing that snowballed. And as TikTok sort of started growing, I felt the need to start sharing the recipes I loved cooking for my family, for my friends, for dinner parties I hosted. And that's sort of the type of content that you would see if you followed me on TikTok.
Right, so Chef Biggie with 3 E's, right?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Erwin, thank you very, very much. And for this crowd, hearing where TikTok is going and how it can work for a franchise system is great news. And I love the localization aspect. So thank you for that. I really, really appreciate your time.
Thank you very much, Gary.
Thanks a lot.
All right.
Thanks for listening. For more franchising resources, including how-to articles, expert advice, franchisee success stories, and franchise opportunity, visit franchisecanada.online. Don't forget to subscribe to Franchise Canada e-news while you're there. You can also learn more about franchising at cfa.ca and can connect with specific franchise opportunities at lookforfranchise.ca.